Ain't got nothing on you, baby. Nothing on you, baby. Am I quiet? I feel like I'm really quiet. Nope. No, I'm fine, actually. Crisis averted, not even that quiet. Hi, Jeff. How you doing? Lock that there. Lock that. Ooh, I'm very zoomed out. Oh no, it's fine. It's not that bad. Hello, welcome. And welcome to my stream. How are you? Let me do a little tweet real quick. Is it a No Man's Sky tattoo? No. It's just a little astronaut. Thank you so much, Zinkane. How was the hockey game the other night? Yeah, I've been to a few hockey games since being in the US. Hockey is so fun to watch live. My God. I was originally a Sharks fan. Probably still favor the Sharks. But Rahul likes the Ducks. I think it's my 4th time going there. And they suck though, so they're really bad right now. Thank you, Mad Loyalson. And welcome to the first time chatters. Pretty Phil Chill and Tabo de Martin. Why am I always so bad at it? So bad. I went to a fight and a hockey game workout. That's the best thing about it. Thank you for that, Jeff. I will save that. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about Rooster Teeth today. Which, for anyone who hasn't caught up, I will catch up on, and then we'll do a reaction to the Xbox showcase, and then maybe the Pokemon Direct as well, because I've not been good at life recently. So I'm just like really bad. I'm just bad. I'm bad. So I'm not up to date on things. Thank you, CS King Baba. 3 years. That's crazy. Look at me go. Yeah, the boxing YouTubes comes out on Friday. I do have one back here. It's been there for ages, actually. It's like right here. And it's been just hiding there for ages since I got it. Yeah, the blurs may be too intense. Maybe I should tone it down a tiny bit. Hang on. It is AI. I use NVIDIA Broadcast. Like that looks like more chill. Like I feel like it was too much, right? Maybe we go like here. Seem good? That seems good to me. I'm not someone that lost their job at Sony, are you? No, I did not get laid off. Thank you, GainX2K1. So let's just jump into it, to quote the wise words of Philip DeFranco. I said, do by themselves need to blur it? You know what? Let me do that first real quick. You ready? Hang on. It's also on here. What do I do? Add effect. Eye contact. You ready? Hey, everybody. A lot of peers here. Don't worry about it. I'm looking at you intentionally. This is me looking at you. I don't know what you mean. This is how I talk to my chat at all times. You know what? This is what you want, right? This is why they made this, is so that I can just look at you at all times. I love that it includes the blinks though, but it looks like my eyes are moving when I blink. You don't like it? What do you mean? I don't understand what the problem is. How could you not like it? Also look kind of high. Yeah, it doesn't look like my eyes. It does get the color kind of right though. My eyes are a lot more green than they tend to look on cameras, and for some reason this eye contact beta, it's so fucking, look at that. It's so fucking weird. Oh my god. It makes me feel like I'm in a horror movie. It makes me feel like, oh, Banjo. Hello, Munchkin. Hello, little boy. Hello, little Banjo. Oh, what you say? Oh, what you do? Oh, how'd you get so cute? Oh, how'd you get so cute? Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm in a horror movie because I feel like it's like a fake version of me is staring at me. You know what I mean? I don't like it. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn that off. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Nobody saw any of that. Woof. With the filter on Banjo, I don't imagine that they made it work on dogs. I would think not. So he does have very perceptive eyes. He's involved. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth playthrough coming soon. I don't do playthroughs of games. Is there any logical explanation why WB wants to double down on releasing service games? Yeah, so that's my video for Friday. Stay tuned. My YouTube video for Friday is specifically about that. But yes, there is a logical reason. The reason, of course, is money. Oh, enjoy Amsterdam, Pagan. I hope you have a great time. Dog is eating my tampon. Are you a child? He's eating a bone, I think. No, he's eating the carcass of one of his favorite toys. Glad to see Bruce back after getting banned. Yeah, dude, what a crazy thing to happen. What a stupid ban. What a ridiculous thing to happen to somebody. How insane. I mean, my ban was pretty bad too, but they thought that the duck was sexual? That's so fucking dumb. Yeah, Bruce got banned for a day. How is money the logical reasoning when a large majority of players dislike those kinds of games? Sweet summer child. It doesn't matter what you like, it matters what makes money. So you can have less people playing a live service game and still spending more money on it. Like whales, right? It's completely irrelevant what you say you like. All that matters is stock market only go up. Also, not majority of players dislike them. It's just majority of people who are like clued into the industry, you know? If only. What we say matters. Mod for a simmer got banned for over a week just for saying they didn't like men. I mean, saying you don't like men is a weird take, is it not? That's a weird thing to say. How can you not like men? That's a big group of people to not like. Thank you, Zamason. Yeah, I say that all the time, NPC Christian. It's like, you know when The Last of Us 2 leaks happened and everyone was freaking out about it? It's like the amount of people who even know what Naughty Dog is compared to the amount of people who play games is like such a tiny percentage. That news did not spread to most gamers. There is a difference between people who play video games and people who are chronically online and play video games. They're like very different crowds. There are so many more gamers than people who watch angry YouTubers, right? Like it's just so, yeah. Very different. I've done a review on June Part 2. I haven't seen it yet. I am going to see it next week. I was planning to, but I did get Dune-themed nails. I don't know if you can tell. They're supposed to look like spice. You see how there's like different shines on them? See that? They're all in different directions slightly. So there's just, yeah. Thought it was cool. Well, thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much. 69 gifted subs? Oh my god, why have you done that? What did you do that for? Thank you so much. That wasn't necessary at all. How dare you? Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Literally. Thank you. Wow. You're one of the best humans that I have ever not met. Consistently so lovely. Thank you so much, dude. Wow, thank you. I really appreciate you. I am going to see June Part 2 in IMAX, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, You can say you don't like people and not get banned, surely, but I think not liking men that's an insane thing to say. It's not similar, but it's like how I feel whenever people tell me they don't like anime. I'm like, oh, that's like me saying I don't like TV. What kind of anime have you seen, and what kind of anime did you or did you not like? That's a crazy thing to say. It's okay, I'm a man, so I can say I don't like men. You can't. You have men you like. It doesn't. You can't. You can. I mean, you can say it, but you'd be lying. You would be a liar. I don't believe you. Working in the games industry sounds so stressful. Listen, man, it's been real hard. I still have a job, so it's not that hard for me, really. And I'm in the luxurious position, I admit, of if I didn't have a job, I would be fine. But it is really hard getting messages from friends every day who've lost their jobs. You only know about the high-profile ones. All these friends I have who work in indies, all these friends I have who are like effectively contractors in sound design or art, who work for different projects, all losing their jobs. Like, it's just really shit right now. It's just really difficult. Again, and I say that as someone who's like in the least difficult position, it just feels really sad. Like, just every day is just fucking sad. This is the closest I've felt to depression in a really long time, and then I don't think I am depressed, and it's just I keep waking up sad every day, and it's not that far from that. It's just really fucking sad and exhausting, and I think the biggest bummer is probably the helplessness. Like, it just, what can any of us do? And I have some big thoughts on the era of capitalism that we're in. With AI, it used to be beneficial to corporations to keep employees happy. They used to at least need to keep you healthy and happy so you could keep working, so that you would be able to make product and consume product. With AI, there's a lot less incentives for the CEO billionaires to care about how healthy or happy you are, because your jobs can be replaced. And I don't know what the world looks like when the people who have and hoard all the money aren't even incentivized to care about the workers at all. It's heavy topics here that, again, I'll probably make a video about at some point. But I feel like that's the disparity between, the mega rich and the poor is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It is dystopian. Yeah, it's pretty bad. We may be in post-capitalism. It's a lot. AI can't do much yet, but they will try to do it as much as they can. Like, right, these CEOs are going to do this as much as humanly possible. Like, you used to care about layoffs in terms of company morale. They don't give a shit anymore. It doesn't feel like they do, at least. And it's just, so many. Just so many people. It just really sucks. And we really spoke about it at length on this week's episode of Play, Watch, Listen. If you don't already listen to that podcast that I do with Mike Bithell and Austin Wintory, who one's a game director and one is a video game composer. I spoke about it with Mike about just like it being very deflating, and apparently the consensus within the industry is survive until 2025. So everyone's just trying to survive until 2025, I guess, is the goal. But the problem with that ethos is that you have no control over it, really. There's not such a thing as post-capitalism. Well, yeah, it hasn't happened yet. Thank you, Donut. What theoretically happens in 2025? I guess economic stability, but realistically, that's probably not even based on any actual data. I would think that people are just giving themselves a motivation or something to stick to. Like a goal, but just something to keep you going, but it doesn't mean it means anything. Late stage capitalism is what we're already in, Doomsroom. We're already there. Why is Sydney Sweeney's chest the death of the woke? I also even thought about making a video about that, but Alana's commentary era is I have too many video ideas and too little time. Man, that shit's crazy. They've decided that Sydney Sweeney having boobs is anti-woke. Is such a weird perspective. I understand the this idea that the woke liberal left hates attractive women. I get where that comes from. Do I think the people who are saying that are exaggerating it? Yes. But I personally have disliked recent trends of women who are in positions of power or are considered badass in a lot of entertainment media, always dressing or acting like men. Like, I find that really lame. It's like, okay, as a woman who has big titties, you're telling me that I can't. I mean, no one's telling me I can't. I don't take it that seriously. But, like, the idea is that in order to be cool and badass and tough, you must be masculine. And that is a thing I have seen represented and that I dislike. Example who? I mean, virtually anybody in Disney. They're like, in Star Wars. The whole Book of Boba Fett. But it's like, okay, why can't women still be feminine and sexy and have boobs? And also be leaders and powerful and cool. And I find that really shitty. But at the same time, the conservatives or the right or whoever, really it's just individual people and putting them all in a box is the easiest way to talk about it, but not accurate, are the same people who get mad at me as a human woman if I ever have cleavage. Right? So, like, in theory, I feel like the left are very supportive of women on OnlyFans and of real world women being sexually expressive in the way that Sydney Sweeney is. But I feel like the real world right hate titty streamers and thoughts and OnlyFans girls and are all about the trad wife and how you must dress and look and act. So it's like they're really split in terms of one side being for it in fiction but not in real life and the other side being the literal opposite. It's just, it's confusing. You are neither and indifferent. I am pro sexy all the time. Like 100% of the time, I'm totally cool with sexy female video game characters and like them. As long as there's variety. I wouldn't want them all to be that way. And I am pro women in real life having variety that they have. But it's very strange that they like seem to be like the idea that Sydney Sweeney showing boobs on Saturday Night Live, a notoriously liberal program, is anti-woke is like, no, but the woke lefties like titties in real life and are supportive of free the nipple. That's consistent across the board. The right are the ones that tell women that they can't dress that way or they're attention whores. It's very confusing. I think everybody's fucking confused and really just screaming about whatever they can to feel like they have a place that they fit in. Oh, hi, Jesse. Sorry about the ad. You have 43 seconds. It's all very contradictory, I think. Again, my stance, I'm pro-boob. I do think that, like, there are times where I can find female video game characters who are overly sexualized to be annoying, but it only ever comes from a writing perspective. Like, I love Bayonetta. Don't we all love Bayonetta? When has anyone hated Bayonetta? But I don't like it when they're written and everything they say is an innuendo. That I find that to be annoying because it's so one note and boring, and it happens not uncommonly with any sexy villain, like any sexy villain female character who's dressed in any provocative way. They tend to also write her that way, and I do find that again really boring. Bayonetta, not that. Lady D is also not that. We like Lady D. And yeah, the left weren't upset about Lady D. Everybody sexualized the shit out of her, right? Like, to an uncomfortable extent. It's, yeah. Thank you, Alex. Can all be fine if there's variety. I think I agree. It's not like I want everyone to be represented. Yeah, I just want everything to be different. Any kind of trend is boring and it'll always balance itself out, right? But, yeah, the Sydney Sweeney stuff is like the same dudes who are currently saying, oh, thank God this is not woke, are the same dudes who will say how much of an attention whore she is. And, like, if she ever gets sexually harassed, they will blame her, you know? It's a weird one. Do you find the left almost tried to be too respectful to the point that it loops back to being unsupportive? Sometimes. Like, there are so many facets of the left and extremes of the left. But certainly sometimes, like, I do feel like they, like, removed big titty having women from superhero fiction. Not 100%. It's really just a reduction. It's like, it's not like they don't exist. Brie Larson's still got sweet titties. But it is a way that, like, as somebody who has always been shamed for having boobs, has always made me go, oh, that sucks. Why are we now saying they have to dress like men to be taken seriously? That's a fucking bummer. Thank you, Lauren. Pro boobs indeed. I wonder if the reason why Lady D being hypersexualized by fans was okay, because even when she was sexualized, she was portrayed as powerful. I don't know. I think it actually for her may have been mommy complex. Maybe. Hello, Samson. It is your first chat. Yeah, Patrick, that's a good point. The Madonna whore complex is be chased until it's done to excite me is true. But the right being okay with Sydney Sweeney is confusing. Because again, if I were to walk out on stage at the Game Developers Conference with a lot of titty, people would be really angry at me. Those same dudes would be really angry at me. Like, I would get a lot of shit for that. You know? It's just a lot. I certainly see the ownership thing. Left goes nuts because of how sexual she is. Yeah, so Stellar Blade looks hot to me. I've actually not seen anyone get upset about that. I don't doubt that it exists because you can find someone getting upset about literally everything if you want to. But is that being overblown? Like, did you see one article and we've conflated it to the left? Because, like, I've openly said that I find she's hot, and not one person has criticized me for saying that. Like, no one on the left, which I would think is a lot of my audience, has been upset with me for that. Thank you, Medallion. I also love my Madam Web review video. It's really fun. I know I didn't start the YouTube stream. That was intentional. It's kind of ironic how making the feminine look more masculine is meant to represent femininity. So I don't think that's the case, Morox. I think what's happening is, again, this is not everything. It's just some things. I do feel like Star Wars has done it. It's representing femininity and power as masculine because they are, like, seemingly trying to get away from the perception that women use sexuality for power is probably what's happening. Which, you know, ironically, the right do claim all the time, right? So, like, this thing that, in theory, they're trying to push back against is a thing that the right claim all the time. Like, if I have cleavage on Twitch, which never happens, even though you can easily find people on the right calling me a titty streamer, even though, again, I don't do that. They'll really be hostile about it and accuse me of, like, trying to get money or trying to get views by having cleavage. But that's kind of what the left is, in theory, trying to fight against, is the idea that women are only in positions of power because they have cleavage or because they use their sexuality, which is an incorrect perception. You can be sexual and be powerful without it being intentional. But we haven't found the nuance in any of this, I don't think. And it's so weird because it's the same shit that's been going on for so long. Random question, how would you ask somebody to be your mentor? I would email them. But usually I only ask people I know personally. Attractive will be more successful. Attractive people on both sides will always be more successful. It's always like an interesting thing where we talk about, like, it's only ever applied to women, even though the most successful content creators are all men and virtually all attractive men. There are some exceptions on both sides. You don't have to be attractive, but it's anyone who's attractive is going to have everything a little bit easier. This is virtually science at this point. What about Cortana and Halo 4? Her design is amazing for her function, yet 343 letting go of criticism for sexualizing her. Listen, to be clear, okay? someone is always going to criticize literally everything. You don't have to pay that much attention to it. I also didn't know that happened, right? Someone is always going to be upset with literally every single fucking thing. My hair looks like shit right now because I have product in it and then it went out in the rain, which just makes your hair look terrible, right? Someone in the YouTube comments is going to talk shit about it. Someone across the board at all times is going to be upset about everything. So we don't have to bring up every example of people were upset, because sometimes I feel like when we talk about, oh, people were upset, it's like one fucking person. That, like, you can't put that one person as the left. You talk shit about my watch. I have had that before. I've had people complain that I wear my Apple Watch too tight on streams. Someone's going to complain about everything. You don't have to pay attention to all of it. And I think, like, saying, oh, the right is upset or the left is upset, which, like, I probably have done, it makes it so much easier to talk about, is inaccurate. Sometimes it's just one fucking guy. But the politicization of Sydney Sweeney's boobs is just a really interesting one to watch. And it's very conflicted. Like, in theory, if I like sexy women in fictional content, and I like sexy women in the real world, that means what does that make me? A titty-enjoying centrist in that particular landscape? People tend to assume. I had comments on my tweet of people like, feminists like you ruined this. And I was like, I've never had that stance in anywhere. I've only ever been okay with women being sexy. You know, it's just a lot, and I think we maybe take people complaining too seriously a lot of the time. Titty enjoying centrist needs to be on a shirt. There are dozens of us. Dozens. That said, again, every time that I talk about being okay with boobs, the left never gets mad at me. But I will have the right get mad at me all day, every day, for everything. I've never had a lefty be like, how dare you be okay with the sexualization of women? I also, like, have people somewhat often criticize me for complaining about being objectified. I've never complained about that. Never complained about it. It's like a weird assumption that they're like, I think you're left, and thus you must complain about that. Like, I'll get a like, oh, shows tits, but then complains about people commenting on tits. Never complained about that. Do not care. Do not like it, but do not care at all. Never complained. Modern feminism has done irreparable damage to real women trying to live their lives and make their own way in the world. I don't know about that, Chief. Don't know about that one, Chief. Coming into this convo 15 minutes is wild. I don't know, dude. This is pretty standard. Thank you, Dr. Butthugger. People have a weird amount of trouble respecting people while finding them sexy. I think it's more nuanced than that, in that I think a lot of it is people have a lot of trouble watching somebody that they are sexually attracted to. Okay, I'm going to be more explicit here. It's usually men. It's almost entirely men. Not all men, obviously, but some men have a lot of trouble watching a woman that they are sexually attracted to be successful independently of their input. And I think people don't know where that frustration is coming from. The frustration is from wanting to fuck that person and not being able to. That's where it comes from. But, like, all they feel is rage, and they don't know where to put that rage. So it ends up in just, like, trying to control them, like, via the internet. It's like some sort of primal, I really want to fuck that thing and I can't. How dare it have a life outside of my desire to fuck it? And I have witnessed this so many times. Again, I specifically said some men, okay? Not all men. Not all men. I've also never met one. This is why I love men. Men are great. All of the men I know are fantastic. My best friends, men. All great. Love them all. But there are certainly, I guess, men who haven't been able to, like, maybe express or rationalize sexual frustration. And so the reason that success comes into it is because you feel like you don't have any control over it. That's it, right? You watched a guy turn alt-right overnight. That stuff's always really interesting. How do you keep the energy for these topics? They're so draining. I don't find them draining at all. I think that I like talking about stuff like this. It's more interesting to me. Sometimes it's just envy. That's the same thing, really, Mike, is sexual frustration and envy are very similar things, I think. He had issues with his mother and it was bitter against women and they just got him. Well, Taylor's oldest time is the one way to make a serial killer is to have an abusive mother. It's so consistent. My ex was living with her parents were hardcore QAnon MAGA folks. Wow. I guess I sort of know someone who would be QAnon. As a man, I'll say you're 100% right, but humans are monkeys at the end of the day, not excusing shitty behavior to try and explain why men can be very bad people. I didn't say I didn't know why. Didn't say I didn't know why. It all makes sense to me. It's just funny that it doesn't make sense to the people doing it a lot of the time. Yeah, stop asking me about Sweet Baby. I'm not going to talk about that. I will literally put that as a banned word if I have to. I'm not talking about Sweet Baby. No interest in talking about that. You went to the same high school and I was kind of rude to you in Tuck Shop one time. I feel bad about it. That's okay. I don't know. I wouldn't remember that at all. You're totally fine. What's the hottest female video game character? I thought a lot of the women in Final Fantasy 16 were really hot. Why are we talking about sexualization of women all of a sudden? Because of Sydney Sweeney. George, next time you see Estelle, tell her I said hi. I haven't seen Estelle in ages, not since she left the company. Actually, the last time that I saw Estelle was at the Ragnarok launch party. I haven't seen her since. I think a thing that plays a lot into that is toxic masculinity due to how fragile it can be. The idea that you're supposed to protect and nurture your partner as a man. TM makes them feel emasculated when they don't feel like they're contributing to the sex of people they attract to. That's an interesting take. And I like the way you framed toxic masculinity there. You know, I try and raise money for men's health every November. And I think toxic masculinity is also a term that can really be lost in terms of nuance. There are a lot of very negative things that society does to men. There are a lot of notions put forward and pressures put forward on men. And I do think the provider is still a thing that will be expected of you from an older generation, even if women aren't actually expecting it these days. And this is obviously very like heteronormative. And that is a version of toxic masculinity is like, usually it's other men being like, hey, and women 100% do too, but I think it's a lot of dads will do that kind of shit, right? It's like boomer dads be like, you're not a provider. What are you fucking worth? And that's like such a tough thing to get out of. So yeah, if you watch someone like a girlfriend make more money than you, that's still a thing that a lot of dudes have. Like they really don't like that. It's really complicated. Thank you, Crowbones. I think it's because you're hanging out with understandable and rational people from the left. I've seen a few. Hey, listen. I got plenty of issues with people on the left. I think the like one thing that drives me insane is the left is so obsessed with infighting because some people like become leftists. Again, another thing I thought about making a video about now that I've branched into commentary. Some people become leftists because it gives them an excuse to bully. And they feel righteous in their bullying. So they feel like they can continue to be schoolyard bullies and not get called out on it, but it's the same fucking behavior. And that's part of why they align with the left. It's literally just so I can be a bully, the same as I was always a bully, but be righteous about it. And I think that is exactly what happened to people like, I don't even remember their names. People who were like, they were like extreme left and then the left got mad at them because the left loves infighting and then they just went hard right, like Candace Owens, who I, to be clear, know very little about. But it's just, you want to feel righteous. That's the quality is not what political alignment you actually have. It's that you want to feel right. And the left, I think, allows people to do that a lot. Like, I've seen the left do that. again, not everyone on the left, not most normal people. This is such a chronically online fucking thing where when you go and talk to people in the real world, you're like, oh, most people aren't like people on Twitter. And it's just, it makes elections very hard because the left has no fucking consensus. And thank you, Ham Goose and Storm King Tuck. Yeah, Candace Owens started out left. She did. Did she not? I'm almost positive that she did, and then she like switched sides real hard. And then became right when the left tried to cancel her for something. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Well, thank you so much, Prodro DLC. Thank you so much. This is the most subs I've had in like months. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Bros. Lovely to see you here. Someone who's moved to the US. Why the US so focused on identifying as left or right? That's a great one. America treats politics like sport. You're red or you're blue, and it is a huge thing in America because they literally treat it like their team won. People don't think about what's for the good of society or voting for their community. They literally just think about this is a sport. This is the Super Bowl every 4 years. My team will fucking win. And they will vote for the same team every single time just to feel like they've beaten the other team. It's crazy that that's the system. It's so gross. I've heard Australia's starting to get more like that. But like when I was in Australia, which admittedly is 10 years ago, there was no party loyalty. People would vote for the thing that they aligned with, and it would change every year. You'd be Labour, you'd be Liberal, you'd be Greens. Like it would jump over the place. But the US it's comes from that same culture that you get in high school. You got the high school sports, you know, like you're taught to fuck yeah, America #1, and it just like ends up translating into politics as well, which I think is so messy and so out of hand that you don't even care what the policies are. You just care about beating the other side. It's really, really bad. It's funny how the founding fathers wanted two-party systems and then they just started it themselves. Yeah. The two-party system is awful. But again, it's like so weird to watch the left leading into an election year talk about being sad, but not rally behind anyone. Whereas like the right will just take you. Like if you're like, I've decided that I'm gonna vote conservative, they're like, come on over, brother. We got beers and shit, and they don't even question it. I guess unless you're a minority. In which case, yeah, it can be a problem. Oh, thank you, TDR415. For that though, they'll use you for marketing, so maybe not even there. Hard to rally behind Joe Biden. I don't disagree with you on that. I never liked Joe. But I don't have to vote, so I'm in the very privileged, I can't vote rather. I'm in the very privileged position of literally not being able to think about it because I can't do anything, so. How is it being over there not able to vote? I just ask people around me to vote. Thank you, Pizza Moy. No, if you're a minority, they push you to say, see, we like them too. Yeah, they use them as shields. That is definitely a thing. It is very us versus them here, top to bottom, all the time. The thing I still don't understand about elections is usually the people who are up for election leave me thinking, is this really our best person that we could put up for this role? So I think there's also a problem with American politics, okay? I'm not a political streamer. Maybe I am today. Maybe I will be more this year. There's a problem with American politics, and I admit to being uninformed, right? That I literally am saying that. These are just perspectives I have that I am not pretending to be informed. You could tell me I don't know shit and I would be like, probably. Just perspectives. And I do feel like the outsider perspective is at least a little bit valuable. In order to exist in American politics, I think you are required to be corrupt. I think the system itself is so corrupt that in order to exist and succeed, you have to be corrupt. And so when we talk about putting the best person forward, the best person never made it. The best person didn't appear on your ballot. the best person, the best people don't stand a chance in the American political system. So you don't really have a choice. If our best foot forward has to be somebody who is inherently corrupt, which again, I kind of think that it does for you to exist in American politics or to succeed in American politics, you have to kind of sell your soul at least a little bit. The system, like, it's not even hiding that. The system is like, announces that. Like, that's what lobbyists are. It's corruption that they've just made legal. Thank you, big bad beluga. So yeah, in terms of like, wow, is this really the best person we had? Yes, because everyone who would have been better couldn't ever succeed. Unfortunately. Thank you, Ted Dog. I did not Captain Awesome 23, but I don't really read that stuff. So corrupt they're afraid to leave office before they pass away. Also a thing. Depends what level of government. I agree with that. Yes, I think it's like federal is where it's harder. You can probably on a like a county or a state level have that not apply. Lobbying's crazy. Also, I forget what it is. It was like a Reagan era corporations can vote. That is inherently corrupt. I don't remember what the actual thing is called though. There's a term for it. That's super corrupt and it's legal, but that is like objectively corruption. Citizens United, yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you, Arakatinga. Also totally true. Friends Elitis here said, as an Aussie looking in, it seems to me that not having mandatory voting means you're incentivized to appeal to the extremists because they're more likely to vote than the moderates. So you're incentivized to lie. I would prefer a mandatory voting system personally. Because in the US, you're incentivized to lie. Citizens United was Bush era? No, it started under Reagan. It was a Reaganism. A Reagan-like. I've read a bunch of books about the Reagan era. Well, maybe I'm more informed on politics than most people. Nah, I can't be. Surely not. I don't know shit. Yeah, I literally read a book about Reaganomics. It's really interesting stuff that made me go, this is all corrupt. It's just legal, so we can't call it corrupt. It's crazy. Ex-politicians being able to immediately go into fields like lobbying is wild. 100%. 100%. Most political stream Alanah ever did. If you upload this to YouTube, it could go viral. Clearly, you, sir, are not familiar with Alice Pearson. Oh, we've been political. What am I currently reading? I'm currently reading, I started reading a lot of nonfiction this year. I'm currently reading a book called Dopamine Nation. Very, very interesting. You think that removing the party system and switching to a more candidate-focused system would be better for the US? I don't think that would work. I think there are benefits to the party system. It's just the current system doesn't quite work. Organ, the TV show, I think shows how much better parliamentary system is. The chances you Madam Web again. Thank you so much for asking. I have not. But I think Bruce said he hadn't seen it. So we might try and go again. I'd love to. Am I allowed to talk politics at Santa Monica Studio? Yeah, of course. Dumping parties, you would still run into liberal versus conservative. Yeah, I think that even if you remove the parties, the qualifiers would end up the same. I had this really interesting discussion with Libertarian once, where I asked why he thought Libertarians, because they have some values that I like some. And I was like, why have they never succeeded? Why do you think Libertarian has never succeeded? And he didn't really have a good answer. And then I ended up being like, what are your stances on things like abortion? If you are libertarian and thus you should be like, I think government shouldn't intervene. And he said pro-abortion. And I was like, interesting. How does that work? And I guess there's this big conflict for a lot of libertarians where they think people should be allowed to do whatever they want and like say that. But on the other hand, they're religious. So it's like the government shouldn't intervene except for when the government is intervening for something I perceive to be the will of God, which is like conflicted in and of itself. how that stance doesn't make any sense. If you're trying to tell me the appeal of your party is government's hands off for the people, you can't also be anti-abortion. It's basically just they don't want to pay taxes. Which, bro, I get it. When they all go to tanks in this country, I fucking get it. I loved paying taxes in Australia because I felt like it was going to my roads. Here, don't like paying taxes. Yeah, libertarians are pro-abortion. Sorry, did I not say that? I'm saying he is. Oh, no, anti-abortion. No, yeah, he was anti-abortion. He wanted the government to prevent abortions. Very confusing. If you're a libertarian, yeah, I agree. Anti-abortion libertarian. Yeah, and apparently it's not uncommon because a lot of libertarians are religious, so that's like inherently a huge conflict for them. There's left and right libertarian. Of course, yeah. Again, there are some libertarian values that I like. I would like the government to not have a say in a number of things, but not everything, because I'm pro seatbelt. I'm glad that a seatbelt is a regulation that saves lives. You know, I'm happy to have that. Thank you, Genie Spool, for the 20 months. Libertarians don't know what they really want. I think it's more that maybe there are things about being libertarian that appeal to some people, and they don't have an identity really. What are gun laws in Australia? You can own a gun. I know people who own guns, but it's just very regulated. It's difficult to get one, and you have a lot of rules for how you're allowed to like keep it. So, for the record, I am not anti-gun personally, but I am pro-regulation, which I think is also a weird thing that gets lost in gun discourse. Like any time that I've ever tweeted, which sometimes I just used to do it whenever there was a mass shooting, I would just retweet the phrase from myself, gun control, and then I would have people on the right get mad at me for trying to ban guns. Not what I'm trying to do. Not trying to get rid of guns. Just like a good regulation on something that can kill somebody that fast. Same as there are regulations on seatbelts. And speed limits. And licenses. And you needing to test for a certain amount of verified hours before you can drive a vehicle that could easily kill someone. Feel good about that. Guns are definitely crippled in Australia, but we also don't have mass shootings, so... Yeah, I think I'm in favor of treating guns like cars. Yeah. Regulations don't work with criminals. Okay, then why does it work in every country that regulated? Like, you have to understand that if you regulate guns, there are less guns in the market. It is harder to get guns. Are criminals still going to get them? Yes, but in virtually every single country, certainly in Australia, that enforces gun control or regulations, we haven't had a mass shooting since. There hasn't been one since the 90s. So does it work? Yes. Like provably in multiple countries. It's the same as like, there are countries where you put a pool fence around your pool. You know what it prevented? People drowning in pools. And it's irrelevant. People always be like, but there are more people in America. You regulate based on percentage. It 100% works and has provably worked in multiple places. And it's like, oh, well, we can't prevent 100% of gun deaths? Well, let's fucking prevent none of them. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Like, even if you can't prevent all of them, why would you not try to limit them? Like, I guess you're just like, thoughts and prayers. What? No, it doesn't make any sense at all. How many mass shooters are typical criminals? Also true. You're not going to prevent the kind of criminals who get guns and kill each other, right? That's probably still going to happen. Again, you'd make it harder and more expensive, which I feel positively about. At least try to make it a little bit fucking harder. But yeah, a lot of mass shootings aren't even committed by people who would be counted as criminals. They are post-mass shooting, but prior don't generally fit the bill. Charge $100 per bullet. There's a great 3-part segment from the Daily Sir John Oliver went to Australia, talked to the PM, he passed the gun control legislation. Who was that? Was it John Howard? The guy with the eyebrows? Did John Howard pass the gun control? I think he did. Who was a Liberal Party, which in Australia is conservative. Was there a mass shooting recently or something? Stage Geek, there's a mass shooting like every week. It was John Howard. Who, yeah, I was a little too young to really remember John Howard very well. I know he was like around when I was a kid, but I don't really remember him. I remember Kevin 07 distinctly. But I think he was Liberal, which, yeah, in Australia means conservative, which is the weirdest thing. The Liberal Party in Australia is the Conservative Party. And then the Labour Party is the Democratic Party, or Republican Democrat. It's very confusing. Why do you think that being middle ground or moderate or center seen more is a bad thing? It's not. I just think that a lot of people who claim to be center are actually not, and they're just using it as a lazy excuse also to feel righteous. Like, that's where the beef comes in. There's a lot of people who go, I'm a centrist, are not actually even centrists. They just do it as an excuse to be like, whoa, this has nothing to do with me. Like, it's just a lazy out, and they still have views that go in either direction. Making it expensive to buy ammo up until a specific age makes sense. Like, once you hit 50 years old, the price to buy ammo gets cut in half so old people can still hunt. That's very interesting. I don't know enough about gun usage, hobbyist gun usage in the US to really answer that question. There's centrists and there's unlighted centrists. Yeah, I think that the reason people dislike centrists is really specific to the enlightened centrists who are just little smug fucks who pretend to be better than everybody. They've really caused issues there. American leftists are European centrists. Also true. It's really interesting that American leftists aren't even that left. Should play Disco Elysium. Bold of you to assume I haven't played Disco Elysium. Of course I have. If hunting is the reason to own a gun, ban handguns. Yeah. Yeah. It has been 0 days since America's had a mass shooting. Folks say there's no point in regulation because criminals will bypass it, like saying there's no point in seatbelts because people still die in crashes. Yeah, I just said that. I must have gotten that from somewhere. I must have watched a video where somebody else said that. Because I had the same example of like, just because you can't get rid of all of them doesn't mean you should get rid of none of them. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. Thank you, Metalhead Tommy. Self-defense is the reason to own guns, not hunting. Sure. You still don't need various kinds of weapons for self-defense. What do you think about the Halo TV series? I don't like it. Unfortunately. I really wanted to. People perceive things as worse than they are because of the media. Here in Canada, we had a guy sell his farm and move his family to Russia to escape all the woke, and now he regrets it after they took all his money and don't speak English there. That's what Brexit was. Brexit was just a bunch of old white people being like, get the Browns out. And then they realized they couldn't travel to Greece without a visa anymore. And they were like, oh, fuck. Wild. Like, shoot yourself or family member, then shoot an intruder. Yeah. The statistics about getting guns for personal safety are not great, but I'm not inherently against somebody having one in their own home for self-defense. Open carry has historically not worked. Like, how many people with guns have actually stopped the men with guns? I've never heard of it happening. It's anecdotal, but how many times does it happen? You met somebody Aussies Park weekend in Vegas because of the Broncos? I bet you did. More often, open carriers get shot by police. Also true. It's a real mess. A lot of people need a visa to go to other countries. I don't see why white or Americans shouldn't need visa to travel to different countries. Yeah, for sure. The way that it was for people in the UK, though, when they were part of the EU, is you didn't have to get a visa among the EU, which was awesome and worked very well for them. And it's really fucking dumb that you would opt out when Europe's such a good place to travel, which is really stupid. I feel like we have reached the tipping point that the average American can no longer affect the political landscape without major hostile movement of a group. That is an interesting question. I don't think you need the word hostile. I don't think it has to be hostile. I do think social media discourse has a lot more influence than anyone's willing to give it credit for. Everything's politicized. Sydney Sweeney's boobs have been politicized. That's fucking nuts. And I think pretending that social media doesn't affect the way people are voting, where, again, I really feel like people should vote based on policy, is naive. Some politicians can be bought for as little as $500. You too can buy a local politician if you save a little. Yeah, also true. Also definitely true. Do you think a peaceful movement can actually cause change these days? Yes. Yes. It just has to be organized. And you need a lot of people. But yes, the left is just really bad at organizing. Really not good at that. Yet to meet a person who sounds like what they say on X. Yeah, again, Twitter and YouTube and even TikTok, it's just people. That people aren't like that in the real world. Even those people aren't like that in the real world. It's so stupid. Should live in a world like Helldivers where there is an algorithm that tells us what to vote on. Yeah, that sounds great. That'll work out really well. Let's do that. Have I been able to get my hands on Dragon's Dogma 2 yet? No. I'm waiting for a code any minute now, though. Very, very, very excited to play that fucking game. I've actually, like, stopped playing other video games because I'm like, but Dragon's Dogma. Social media is heavily influenced in voting. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be bad this year, I think, too. Is the Democrat Party suggestion Biden? Because am I gonna stream it? I played the first one. Yeah, it's one of my favorite games. It'll probably be embargoed when I get it, so I won't be able to stream it. Like, I could probably stream late game. But I would think and then I'm away for GDC, so I can't stream that week. Or at least not stream video games. I might still take stuff to stream up there. Who else besides Biden could put up a feasible win? Great question. I don't know. I don't know. Democratic presidents have always gained more personal wealth than their Republican counterparts. That's interesting. At this point, they are proving the president is nothing more than a figurehead position based on... Oh, I mean, it's been that way for a long time. At least since George Bush. Which I'm okay with. Any news on Dragon Age Dread, do you know? No. All I know is that I've known a number of people who were working on that game who've been looking for jobs elsewhere, which means it's close to done, or they're not happy for some reason. That's all I know about that, though. Yeah, I don't really know. Which candidate requires more necromancy to keep alive? What? Okay, this is the last thing before we actually finally talk about Rooster Teeth an hour into this stream. Why do Americans keep voting for fucking old people? Just let your old people retire. Why do you keep voting in the literal elderly to run the country? I won't let my 80-year-old grandma cook me dinner. Why are you voting them into office? Anyone else, not literal old people who are like falling apart. How is this repeatedly happening? Get an age gap rather. They're all just like fucking senile old dudes. It's wild. They are so old. I don't want the people their age driving cars. What are they doing making decisions for the entire country? God. Thank you, Shervin. Yeah, the boomer voters are really fucking OP. We need to nerf the boomer voters because they just keep voting in fucking 80-year-olds, man. Absolutely nuts. I just... let them take naps. Like, at that age, literally, they should be retired. Why are they doing the hardest job in the country? They should be doing nothing. And where, like, you want to have the most stressful position where we really need you to use your brain and you have to travel all over the world. Like, the one, you know what I mean? And they're fucking 90-year-olds. It's so nuts. And, like, Australia has occasionally voted in a few older people, but, like, on average, not even close. They're not all over 80. The goddamn boomers, man. Stop it. Stop it. 10 for under 30s is abysmal. Is that true? I feel like young people are so politically motivated. But maybe that is true. Maybe they just don't show up, and that sucks. It's the best age to run a country? I don't know, but it's not fucking post-retirement age. It's not 80. I thought being a Twitch streamer was the hardest job. Poor Hassan. He did not deserve to get done for that one. You listen to the whole quote. Probably 50s. 50 sounds good to me. 50s. Can we just cap it so if you're over 75, we're like, oh, sweet summer child, just take a nap. Just go home. You could watch your shows. You could watch some pictures, as my grandma calls them, and you could just take a little nap. That's it. No one over 65 should be in politics. My mum's 65, and she's sharper than most people I know. I'm okay with her running. 75 seems like too much. My son money goes to your hospital bills for breaking my back to entertain us. No, okay. Final tangent before I move on, okay? This is the last tangent before I finally talk about Rooster Teeth an hour into this. Sorry, it's been a shit day, so it's fun to talk about anything else. In defense of Hassan, obviously I saw his name trending and was like, what happened this time? Because it happens a lot. So if anyone missed it, he went viral for saying something along the lines of like nothing like tires your soul out like streaming. If you watch the full context, he also talks about it being for him and it being compared to his own social battery and not wanting to go out after work. The whole time that I've had a content creation side job, I have also worked full-time. The whole time, right? I've worked at a call center. I've worked in fast food. I've worked in retail. I've worked manual labor. I find streaming to be way more socially draining than any other job I've ever had other than the call center. The call center is the hardest one. Streaming is not one of the hardest jobs. But do I find 2 hours of streaming far more socially draining than my actual job? 100%. Like having to engage with people and speak to people for even 2 hours, I genuinely don't know how people stream full-time. Like, I would rather die. I have friends who do it full-time. Hassan does it full-time. Obviously, Bruce does it full-time. Bruce is one of my closest friends. I've said to him many times, how do you do this full-time? That's not me saying it's harder than other jobs. It's not. Like my job is objectively harder than streaming. Game development, objectively harder than streaming. Many things, objectively harder than game development. The call center is the worst job I've had, for sure. But I also did manual labor and found that to be less socially tiring, even less tiring. Yeah, I can still socialize. Maybe my body would be sore or whatever, but... So in defense of Hassan, okay? I think you phrased that really poorly. I 100% think streaming is very, 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 very socially draining. I don't find it as hard as a party. Like going to a party is harder for me than streaming because streaming doesn't really feel like talking to real people, but it's still really tiring. Like in terms of speaking. Afterwards, you just don't want to speak. And the context, I think, was that he was like, I don't want to go out afterwards. If I was him, I wouldn't want to either. But does that make it hard? No, but I don't feel like he said that. But I think people also like jumping on the dude because he trends so much. So it's like, it's so easy to to say something about Hassan and go viral and then get a bunch of views and money, right? Like, every single time he's been trending is because of poorly chosen words. I buy that too. Bruce is free and has streamed hours ago talking about the ban on RT. Yeah, they let Bruce out. But I don't know how Bruce does what he does. I don't know how Bruce does it. I couldn't do it. I could go full-time streaming right now, right? That's a thing I could do. Any second. I could do that and probably make more money. I choose to work in game development, a notoriously difficult field. Because I would not be able to stream 9 hours a day. And obviously varies depending on the person. But he did say that. He did say like it was for him. You know? I also just think anytime that you are ever in any position to talk about a luxury job like streaming or making YouTube videos being hard, people are never going to want to hear it. So what's the point in even saying it? No one ever wants to hear that. Everyone's always going to be like, I guess the reason that it's so objectionable really is that it's his choice. He doesn't have to stream for 8 hours a day or 9 or whatever he does. I don't know. He chooses to. He could still make more money than you or I will ever make if he cut that time in half. And that's why I think people like find it very objectionable. It's like, but you're choosing to do that. You are opting to stream that amount of hours. You don't have to. But yeah, I don't think he deserved the shit he got for that one. Bruce always struck me as a person who thrived on socializing. I'm inclined to agree with you there. Bruce is a very social boy. Yeah, Bruce, as someone who's known Bruce for ages, he's pretty outgoing. Am I working as an indie dev or for some studio? I work in AAA game development. You're trying to say that people on the internet are taking something out of context? Yes. Streaming a game is also less stressful than streaming about Palestine. True. Because I guess Hassan is also streaming like really hot button topics all day and having people scream at him all day, which the closest I can call is to a call center, which yeah, is a shitty job. Hardest part of any job is the people you work with. Oh, I love the people I work with. The hardest part of my job is the scale. It's big. You work on big thing. It's a lot. Choice aspect is why so many people don't relate. Yeah, totally. And like that's why you can't really ever say streaming's so hard is because just don't do it then, bro. Or do it less hours. Nobody's making you stream this much. Did my company pay for my GDC ticket? I'm hosting the GDC Awards, so GDC gave me a ticket. Yeah, working at a call center was rough. That job, I did manual labor. I worked at a car yard, and I actually really enjoyed that job. That was like a get up at 4 a.m. This is when I was just starting freelance writing, so I was effectively using that car yard job to fund me getting started in video game writing. And I was, literally like moving machinery around, like buffing cars with like a giant machine, having to tow things. Like that was a physical labor job that I got up at 4 a.m. for. Like the very classic, I think there was one other girl that worked there. Mostly just dudes. I got very fit. And that job was really fun. And it's not like it wasn't physically exhausting. At the end of the day, you're so happy to like sit down or take a shower or whatever. But I didn't have trouble talking to people afterwards. Whereas like even my current job sometimes have too many meetings and I have trouble speaking. Like if the meetings are too many in a day, I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk to anyone anymore. I can't do this. But that's just the kind of person I am. There are a million people who would find that easier than I do. Car yard, is it mechanics or junkyard? It was an auction house. So we would buy cars, take parts from some of them, like scrap them for parts. And then like part of that would be organizing parts, or we would sell them, which is the worst sexual harassment I've ever received in my life. Was as an 18-year-old, I think I was 18, going through an auction yard and I would be the one driving the cars around. Oh, that was bad. That was real bad. I would give them a fake number because people would just, as the car's being auctioned, I'm just sitting there waiting to drive it off. And people would ask my number so often that one time I accidentally I would just say a number because otherwise they'd get hostile. And I accidentally gave someone my mom's number once. I just rattled off words and it was my mom's number, and then I was like, oh fuck. Complete accident. Did not mean to. Some streamers are contractually obligated to stream a minimum amount of hours as well. Yeah, but they signed the contract. I don't know. I don't know about that, Chief. What do I do for nerves before a hosting gig? Yeah, I don't get nervous about hosting at all. I get nervous to talk to people individually or in small groups. Being up on a stage doesn't make me nervous in the slightest. I don't know why. Like, always very comfortable with it. It's so... You just make jokes, and it's fine. It's easy. Labor jobs take a lot out of you, especially if the people are dumb and rude around you. Certainly, which is the social part as well, right? Did I work on cars and learn about mechanics? I did work on cars. I already knew about mechanics because I was very into cars at that time. So I was like in the car scene. Like I was writing for a car blog and I had a modified car. So I was already into cars at that point in time anyway. Is that a kind of auction yard that worked with insurance companies? I don't think so. It was just like a car auction house. Down at the docks. Did any of them actually call my mom? Again, I only gave one of them my mom's number by accident. And yes, he did contact my mom. It was not great. I was a police officer in LA for 6 years. Hardest job I ever had to do, but it had a ton of good moments. Yeah, I knew a cop in LA who would talk about like... There are certainly things about that job. There's stuff about every job that's really fucking hard, right? And it's silly to dismiss any of it because of privilege. Like, shit's hard for everybody in different ways. But like he would talk about finding a bag with something cold and limp in it. It's like a dead dog. And like that, yeah, that's a tough one. How do you pop back from that and be happy to go out after work either, you know? I couldn't do that either. You know, plenty of shit I couldn't do. I would prefer manual labor again. Thank you, Caspercon. And Paraglonist. What's my dream car? Pagani Zonda. Never. Do I have a cool car? I don't have a car. I do not currently have a vehicle. Did she go out with him? No, my mom did not go out with the random dude that I accidentally gave her number. What's the worst movie I've seen lately? Great question. Madam Web. Obviously. But also the best movie. Both at the same time. Do I have a license? I do, yes. Vet hospital stuff would be really hard. Yeah. How do I get around LA without a car? Oh, so currently my best friend is letting me drive his car, but it's not my car. My friend Ethan. So I'm driving his car. And have been for a minute. But it's also my film of the year. Yes. Madam Web, objectively, movie of the year. Objectively. Okay. Let's finally get onto the topic that I said this stream would be about that hasn't been about this whole time. Better than Dune? Haven't seen it yet, but almost definitely, yes. The greatest film to ever exist. Driving in LA was never fun. Yeah, to be clear, I almost never go anywhere. So, it's not so bad. Variety. Why don't I just... I can talk about Rooster Teeth, like, maybe I'll make a video about it. Because I wanted to do the Xbox preview, and it's only 29 minutes. And I feel like I prefer to do that. Look, here's my take on Rooster Teeth. I'll put a video up tomorrow morning. That's my take. Because it's like, it's going to just put me in a shitty mood. It's sad. It's just really sad. I guess some shorthand things that I will say. So Rooster Teeth shutting down. Saw a lot of comments and people being like, well, obviously this is going to happen. Yeah, we all knew this was going to happen. In fact, part of my plan for Idiots in Abroad was that was the point where I recognized that Funhouse was going to shut down any minute now, you know? And I was hoping that I would be able to build that brand enough to at least get secure jobs for Jacob and John. That was a very big part of the intention there. Obviously that couldn't happen. I have been planning for a long time. I also had Charlotte on a podcast for the same reason. I'm like trying to find means to support these people when we knew that it was a matter of time. So like there's a lot of audience members saying, like acting like they're geniuses. Like, no, we all knew this was coming. They all did. I've been trying to help find work for people. I connected Charlotte with a music designer in video games to see if she could find work there. It sucks real bad. Part of me is like good riddance because I don't have a great opinion of Rooster Teeth itself. I'm kind of glad that those people now can stop selling their lives to this company, who just kept stringing them along and telling them that they would have things that they never ended up having. You know, like they would just constantly like make them work and work and work and work and work and offer them something and then shift the goalpost. So part of me is like, fuck them. But I'm just sad for all my friends who work there. And Funhouse especially is 100% great people right now. They're all such good people, and their videos right now are really good. And I messaged James and Elise today, and I was like, I'd be happy to come by and like just make a bunch of content for free. But then why would I just give money to Rooster Teeth? And it's like almost been frustrating as a friend to watch them like do really well with streams because their money's all going to Rooster Teeth. And I wish that like the money could have gone to them, but it doesn't. It didn't go in like a Funhouse bank. It just went to Rooster Teeth. And it's just been really difficult to watch as a friend to be like, fucking wish you guys could have done something else. But they're all really wonderful and really talented people who I'm going to try and work with as much as I can. I've already asked Jacob and Charlotte if they would edit some stuff for me. On my IRL channel, I also partly set that up, knowing, again, that Funhouse would shut down eventually, and that I wanted to do a bunch of collaborations with people there. I can't see any world in which like that gets to be enough that I can employ all of them. It can't, but maybe one of them to edit or something. So I'm going to try and work a little harder on that to see if I can support any of them, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. But they're all such good people, and it just really sucks. So my understanding is that they have 60 days, and then everything's shutting down. And everyone I've spoken to, some people are obviously panicked about not having jobs. Some of them almost seem kind of relieved because, again, this has been like maybe this will happen for a pretty long time. But yeah, I just will say everyone at Funhouse is awesome, and I hope you support them. I'm going to try to make more content with any of them, literally with the goal of giving it back to them as editors wherever I can. Thank you, Home Hunter. Website goes down after 60 days. I don't know about that. I just know they stop working in 60 days. Maybe even 30 for some of them. But yeah, Funhouse has been better than Rooster Teeth for a long time, in my opinion. And again, I still have a lot of friends at Rooster Teeth proper. Is the channel closing or remaining open without new vids? I don't know. I still don't work there, so I have no idea. Kind of Funny has a partnership with them. I think Kind of Funny's partnership is with the Roost, which is continuing. So Funhouse and Rooster Teeth are all closing down, which again, we did know was coming at some point, right? Again, it's been so weird to watch audiences be like, this was obviously gonna... Yeah, we know. Didn't know when. Every time I saw anyone from Funhouse, I'd be like, how's it going? It was really just a matter of time before Warner figured out Rooster Teeth existed. Like, it was never gonna last forever. Hello, little Banjo. Because it was like, any minute now, Warner was gonna be like, what's this fucking company? Get rid of that. Unfortunately. But yeah, it's really sad. I love those people a lot, and even I'm sad to lose their content. And it's crazy that my last video there was, I think, the end of Deadly Premonition, and we were still planning to play Deadly Premonition 2, and now we won't do that, and that's really sad. When did it become inevitable? I would say I thought it was inevitable whenever it was that we started Eddie Anson Abroad, because again, that was part of the reason I did it. Which, 2 years ago, I think? Did you just hear Rahul? You did, unless there's some other random man in my house. Sick. Yeah, good stuff. Nice. For some reason, when you did the shocker, it unblurred you. It was like, yeah, we'll allow that. Oh, you smell really nice. You put some perfumes on, some man fumes. That smells lovely.
Calm down.
Oh my.
You ready?
Yeah, I guess. I still haven't watched the Xbox thing though.
What the?
We've been talking about politics. Yeah, I don't know. It's real sad. It sucks. I feel like everyone deserves better. I really hope everyone's okay and finds positions, and obviously we will continue to be friends with everybody at Funhouse except for Jacob. Hard no on Jacob, and
I ain't chatting to that pussy old blood.
I intend to make content with him as much as I can.
I look beefy.
Rahul and I have been meaning to start another podcast for ages now that I was going to have Jacob be on as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, it's about going out, body counts.
Yeah. How women should dress.
Cover up.
Yeah.
No OnlyFans.
Yes. The only reason we haven't really is just that I've been really unwell this year, so I've been behind on a lot of stuff because I've just been dealing with the sleepies, unfortunately.
High body count. Low. If 0 even. You.
Yeah.
And why that's what me and Jacob are doing.
Yeah.
And
it's fair enough.
Alana's gonna with a new.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have Jacob as much as possible. We'll have Ryan. I was gonna have Patrick and Charlotte. Just as many as possible. What about Rahul and Bruce's Kick channel? It's the same content. Rahul double dips.
No, because me and Bruce are going to Japan on Kick, and we're just going to start fights.
I did also hear Bruce say that when you were on that stream. Do you have anything that you want to say about Rooster Teeth closing, Rahul?
I said it on Instagram, but I don't have too much experience with Rooster Teeth as a company. I know that Achievement Hunter was reached out to me first when I had just done iZombie. They were big fans of Veronica Mars, and they had noticed that I was following Inside Gaming people.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, why the fuck's this guy from the iZombie show following Bruce? And then they're the ones that actually put me in touch with the new Funhouse.
Yeah, because you were a little fanboy.
I was a fan of the boys, and then so Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth kind of kick-started my relationship with Funhouse to a certain degree. And there was a few people in Austin who I'm very fond of, and again, like I said, I haven't had too much dealings with Rooster Teeth as a company, but I know the people, and yeah, I'm super sad to hear about that.
Yeah, there are a lot of really good people there.
Yeah.
I like vast majority of people there. There's some obviously corporate decisions. I did not have a great time working there.
And that's the thing, right? Because I know the people.
I care about people, yeah.
I don't
a lot.
I don't know how I feel about the company as a whole, because I know you and Lawrence, and do you know what I mean, and stuff, and how.
Yeah, again, part of me is like, good riddance, dude. But
then
I don't want to say that at the expense of the people that I love who work there. So.
And then there's Funhouse, which like.
I was just saying, it's been sort of frustrating to watch them get better and get to a position where like their office environment's so positive and they're so happy and they're doing streams and like creative ideas, like that idea that you had that they might.
Yet. Well, maybe from that.
But their money's going to. Well, I'd be down to do it.
Maybe
I would be down to do that on my channel.
Well,
that's always been my goal, is to try and.
Maybe there's.
If I can. Ideally, I can start making more videos on the IRL channel, and then I can pay at least one of them as an editor. But I don't. It's very far away from making enough money.
Well, maybe there's a phoenix that rises from the ashes of Funhouse, and that core group who are so happy now. Maybe
I have no idea, for the record. Everyone's asking about that. I have no comment.
If this had happened a few years ago, after all the stuff that was going down,
I hesitate to say this kind of thing publicly because it'll get clipped on the Reddit. We don't know anything about.
No, we don't know a goddamn thing. What I'm saying is that I'm saying that the Funhouse that exists now are a super sweet, tight unit that love working with each other.
They're all really good people.
And and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think in a few years ago, something like this, you may never see any more content from anyone. Like, it would have dispersed, right? But it's such a tight group of friends now.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce and Lawrence have like a Let's Play channel they're doing now, and that's like a common full circle type thing. Exactly. I imagine that Charlotte and Patrick will keep making What a Show and doing podcasts together. That's not going to go anywhere. There's no way that we start making content with Jacob or Bruce or Lawrence
James,
or Omar.
or Elise.
Yeah, I guess we don't really make content with James, at least we just hang out. We've never made.
Yeah, that's true.
We just still spend time with them.
I mean, I've made content with them as a video game.
That's true. Yeah.
But I'm super grateful to Funhouse because I met.
I've
Changed my life now, right? Like in a lot of ways,
yeah.
like with you and
Yeah.
they were also like Funhouse.
Yeah, we met because of Funhouse.
Yeah, Funhouse was like a group of.
That's the channel I was referring to, Scott. Yeah.
I was on a show that was not watched by many people. It had a cult following, but it was a small kind of fringe show, and these guys let a fan come on and it wasn't for clout because I had nothing to offer, and we hung out and we made each other laugh, and then they started bringing me on as a guest. We started doing very regular guest spots, and I'm super proud of all the videos we made and the people.
Weirdly, I think because of some of the toxicity, I also feel like I've been through a lot with those people. Like, yeah, they've seen me go through some shit, and I've seen them go through some shit, and it's just a real bond. And it's just Funhouse is just again 100% good people. They're all fantastic people who deserve the world, and whatever they do, if they do anything together, again, I don't know. I'll support them.
Same.
10 billion times over.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything I can. I'm still gonna try to make sure that, like, again, the goal is ideally the IRL channel. I've had this thing I wanted to do for ages, which is like make Rahul and Jacob do Star Wars trivia. But like it's more of a comedy focus than a trivia focus.
I'll get my ass kicked.
Yeah, but it'd be hilarious. But plan to do that for a really long time, and hopefully I can get to a point where I could maybe hire Jacob. I don't know.
Jacob and me and Jacob are also little hobby boys, so I might go on and build something.
Oh, that's fine. That's his whale shark.
No.
Yeah, that's the inside of his whale shark.
You know, I found out what the whale shark's name was.
Oh, it has a name?
Yeah.
What was it?
Bubba.
No way.
Bubba the whale shark.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
So I was trying to find a replacement.
Wow.
What was I going to say? Yeah. Anyway, I love the people there, and like Omar's one of our closest. I love Omar to death, and
yeah, love Omar. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing.
I'm just really sad, man, and it's just been sad for me the whole way through. Like, again, it isn't making it about me, but so many friends just fucking losing their jobs, and it just sucks. How many people on average would normally work at Funhouse? 15, maybe.
10, 15.
Yeah, it wasn't a ton, but they're all paid well.
One of my favorite things about the Funhouse community is like the line got blurred for whether I worked there or not, right? And then I'll appear, or a trailer will appear for an audience that is not Funhouse.
Yeah.
It'll be like that indie film I did, and in the comments of the trailer, it'll be like Mr. Fashion, or like, why the fuck am I in this lift, or
what the fuck am I in this lift?
milk, or a horse, like, and then there'll be like girls that are watching like the Hulu show, and they're like, what the fuck's this problem? What happened between Rahul Kohli and Johnny Depp? And it's all these lot, and it just makes me laugh so much that they do that.
Was Rooster Teeth more or less why Funhouse's viewership dropped, or was it the incident? No. So I think, or have the perception, as someone who's been in the space for a pretty long time, that YouTube gaming groups are no longer wanted. That people have replaced that content, which is effectively parasocial relationships. That is what that content kind of is. You are encouraging people to like get on board with your friendship and watch shit for jokes. Has been replaced by streams. So I think any of those that existed have virtually all died out and been replaced with people watching streamers and watching the streamers collaborate with each other. So it's just the YouTube gaming group. Outside of Game Grumps and Mega 64, but that's it. No one's ever going to kill the Grumps. There's just not a place for them anymore, and even they've dropped views, right? So it's not the current appealing content landscape. It's died out, and is now replaced by people watching Twitch streams and watching streamers who know each other play and watch each of their perspectives. So which has also had I don't think Let's Play channels can work anymore
on a lot of media. Like we're seeing it on our end. Like people don't want a TV film. Like it's not the way. It's not what people want to watch no more. Like the landscape's changing. How people want to watch things.
Yeah, I mean, it is always changing. Trends just come and go, right?
Yeah.
Will their vids be taken off YouTube afterwards? Do they keep them up? Do you think? I have no idea. Sorry, I really don't know. I couldn't even guess. Why do you glad goes away with the death of this company? Any silver lining to this? I don't want to like revel in it because it's more important to me that I'm upset for my friends. The silver lining to me is that I think there are a lot of really talented and good people who work at Rooster Teeth who are being strung along by that company or by corporate and being told they would get to do things or accomplish things that they were never going to get to accomplish. They were basically being led on by an employer. And I'm happy that those people now have that cut off, if that makes sense, that they can go be better and do cooler shit. It always should have been on their terms. You never want to see people get laid off. But there was also a lot of toxic workplace stuff. It was pretty cliquey. My love is for Funhouse and for the people that I know at Rooster Teeth proper and not for Rooster Teeth as a company, which I don't think is a stance that any ex-employees would disagree with. Yeah. Smosh Games really doing better than ever. I didn't know that. It's just, I still stand by it that the YouTube gaming groups don't exist so much anymore. He's chilling. I thought he was vomiting or something.
I had one run in with the company.
Yeah, you had a negative run-in with the company.
Once,
Yeah.
I
Even
was-
you,
I
like,
was
and what they
pissed.
did to you is fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, one I spoke about publicly was when we did Idiots in Abroad live. I did that as a favor. So I was stepping in for somebody else, and our podcast at that point in time, Idiots in Abroad, was more successful than the Funhouse podcast. We were getting more views than any of the other podcasts on the lineup had. And so I agreed to do it. It was last minute, technically a favor. We were happy to be a part of it, but I was like, viewed it as, oh yeah, we'll step in because you need help. And then after we agreed to do it, my only clause was, because this is a show that's funded by Patreon, I want to make sure that we get the podcast and that it doesn't go on roosterteeth.com. That I get that audio, it goes to my patrons, and it doesn't go to roosterteeth.com, people who are paying for a different thing, because that's so fucking unfair. So that episode is up on the Patreon and not available anywhere else. And I just did not want it to go to Rooster Teeth stuff. And they were like, cool. Then, when we did it live, they came back and tried to give me a contract that I was fucking infuriated by, where they were like, you have to promote it, you have to like post this amount of stuff about our live show, we get the audio first and then you get it. And I replied with the most scathing email I've ever responded to anybody with in my fucking life, where I was like, you what? And then Omar, I think, called me immediately and he was like, this is a fuck up, I'm gonna change this, don't worry about it. We'll walk this back, it's fine. And he did. He fixed
Didn't
the whole
something
thing.
happen with the Mark Hamill footage as well?
Yeah, they were trying to use the Mark Hamill footage to promote their own tour.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it was really gross. And again, it was something I was doing to help them. And I was like, no, you don't get to do any of that shit. But Omar, being the goat, immediately walked it back. But that's like an example I don't mind talking about, Rooster Teeth being shitty, but there's plenty worse than that. And
I've never talked about my one publicly, but it was small.
Yeah, I don't know that you should. No, you do.
I don't give a
whatever you
fuck.
want.
I'm not. I don't know
Yeah, you
anyone.
can. I
Anything.
mean, they're gone
I
now,
told you, I
aren't they?
love the
Who
people.
cares?
I love the people, but the company, I don't necessarily. I was visiting. I did the podcast. What's it called? G-Man.
I don't know.
Would you have the beers?
Yeah, I have no idea. Off topic?
Off topic,
Yeah.
and it went great. People were awesome, and then on the way back to the airport, they swung by the VO studio for a tour, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm down to see it." When I got there, a session had been booked under my name to do a VO for Camp Camp, and I went, "I'm not. What do you mean?" And they were like, I didn't even have a
Which you can't just do to an actor.
but I also didn't have a work permit because I didn't.
Would have been illegal.
I didn't work in the US
But
at
it's
that
also
time.
like, you don't just say, here you go, actor, record for us.
Well, no. Here's a tour.
Yeah, also.
Also, here you're doing Camp Camp, and I was like, I wasn't furious. I was just like, dude, I'm not doing that. That's fucked up. Like, why you've done that? I was like, take me to the. I'm good. And then I think when they found out, I got a package sent to my trailer in Vancouver, and it was Camp Camp merch and box set. As a way of saying sorry.
Yeah.
That was my only deal.
Did they not also try to give you the deal?
Yeah.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth would try to get like external talent, like someone like Rahul.
I was never paid by
Yeah.
Funhouse. I think.
Oh no, you did get paid.
I was about to say, I did one paid job with Funhouse, and that was Sekiro.
Yeah, and it was because it was sponsored.
And it was Activision. It was the sponsored thing, and I got a cut out of the deal because there was like Teach Rahul Sekiro.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've ever been paid from Rooster Teeth Funhouse.
But oh, sorry, I didn't realize the mic was too far from me. They had this deal they tried to offer to certain people who had guessed, where they would like try to give them an exclusivity deal, where they would like get actors or people who would occasionally guest and like try to make them sign an exclusivity deal to like only make content with Rooster Teeth or something. I don't remember the terms exactly.
No.
It
It
was nuts.
It just wanted to sign me as talent, and I was like, okay, what would I be doing? They're like, streaming, you make stuff for us and content, and I know it's kind of vague. I didn't really have an idea, and then I took the contract and I sent it to my agents and lawyers. They took a look at it and they came back laughing, and it said, "This is one of the most aggressive contracts we've ever seen. They would own you more than iZombie does and Warner Brothers."
So weird.
Yeah. And they said, "No, you're not doing it."
Yeah, and there was a few people they said that kind of thing to.
Oh, and RTX.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was an
another
RTX
one
thing
where they
too.
asked me to appear, and it was like, we'll pay for your flights and not this, but you're
they wouldn't even get
conditioned to
the
do like this panel and do these signings. And I was like, do you know how much I could do it if I didn't use you?
Yeah. We get paid a lot to go to conventions.
Mental. Anyway, but the people I like. But like I said,
we like the people, we don't like the management. So again, Rooster Teeth going down is like easy for me to say I don't work there. Majority of my feelings are that I care for the people at Funhouse a lot and some of the people at Rooster Teeth, but also the company had a lot of toxicity. They treated some people really badly. I don't hate it, but it's easy for me to say, and I don't want to be.
But we're
insensitive.
also.
I don't think the founders
Funhouse,
had
aren't
anything
we?
to do with this, Crowbones. I don't think any of the founders would have even known about any of it.
What founders of what?
Oh, the Bernie.
Bernie
Jeff,
called me.
but he wouldn't have been the one to do it.
No, he called me because Bruce told him, went, "Do you know what just happened when Roll was in Austin?"
Yeah.
And Bernie was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So I don't
think any of the public-facing founders would have.
I don't even think Bernie sent the Camp merch.
No, of course he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, no way.
But we're Funhouse, isn't it? I've
He
always
was worse,
ignored.
RT or IGN.
I've always-
I had a great time working at IGN. I liked working at IGN. There was one bad show. Like, I didn't like working on the Disney show. IGN was a fun place to work. I had a good time there, for the most part. Rooster Teeth, I had a real bad time. Thank you, Yoda the Hobbit. The longer Rooster Teeth went on, it seemed like there was a click where you were part of the A-list. It's great, but anything other than that, it sucked. Yeah, and so for context, I was not part of the A-list at Rooster Teeth, so I felt that too, where it was clicky. I wasn't invited to do stuff. I would show up to events and feel like an outsider because they all knew each other and were very clicky. I was intentionally ostracized from things. I just didn't care about that kind of thing that much because I never really cared about being cool. But I was not in the cool kids clique at Rooster Teeth, and I definitely felt that and was aware of that. But that's not what caused my problems. I hope someone adopts Ryan. You know who I'm so sure will be fine? Ryan. He's going to end up running for president or some shit. I'm not worried about Ryan. Thank you, Below Average Production. Do I wish I never worked there, or do I think it was important career-wise? Lawrence said to me once, he was like, "I'm so sorry that they took so many years from you." But I didn't feel that way, so I don't wish I never worked there. Some of my closest friends and people that I will like die for now are from Funhouse. Yeah, technically you. Jacob.
Yeah, technically.
Like Bruce and Lawrence. Lawrence is like, I don't even know if he knows, he's one of my like rocks. Like, he is so important. James and Elise are always people that I think I could count on for anything. So like, no, I don't regret that I worked there.
We don't live in this country, right? We do, but we're from our own. countries where we have our own friends and communities and families and things like that, so we're expats. And when I come back to Los Angeles, or if I left for a certain amount of time and I came back, Funhouse people are the people that I check in with. That's the family I call when I land. You know, I see Bruce, I make sure I see Bruce, or I see Jacob, make sure we check and see James and Elise and Omar and their family. Like they're our American family.
Was Adam a cool guy other than the incident? No. Fuck Adam. And that's all we'll say about that. Chosen family, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Very glad to know them. All really hardworking people. Yeah. I love Bruce and Lawrence. Yeah. We're organizing Jacob's bachelor party, and I'm so excited about it. Yeah, there's certainly a reason nobody makes content with Adam or talks to Adam. It's very weird whenever something like this happens and people are like, how'd you abandon your friend? And like, think about it. If all of these people ostracize the person is probably the problem. Unanimously. It's a lot. Lawrence today had a rough stream banning people for the RT thing. He had to ban people? Everyone in here's been very nice. Can we do a video with Jacob eating Filipino food? Honestly, I might put a call in Patreon, just like even at the free tier, or if anyone wants to suggest any fun stuff to make with those people. Again, I've been planning to do it for ages. I just haven't been well this year, so I've done very little. Put any fun ideas like that for that second channel. If you haven't seen it, I did a video where I had Ryan Haley do VO for me putting my makeup on. That's on my personal channel, and that was very fun. But I wanted to do just tons of stuff like that with that group of people. As much as I can. How much of Jacob's party is going to be Star Wars related? You can't ask us because then it would be a spoiler. But we have plans. And I think they're really good.
You can't erase... Sorry, I just saw a chat about people talking about reminiscing about Funhouse. Kovic was a part of Funhouse, and it's unavoidable. And a lot of my fond memories, and I was a fan of Inside Gaming, and a lot of that's tied to that core group. And there were laughs and good times, but they're pissed all over that. So
yeah, well, I agree with that, and the problem is that the good times had an undercurrent that we weren't aware of, that when you became aware of it, everyone was like, oh, yeah. A lot of shit makes sense. That, like, yeah. So sometimes people are like, oh, why didn't you kick him out? We didn't know, and then when we knew what was happening, which I'm always very vague about, but as you can easily find information about it now, it changed. The context of a lot of things are very different. And we were like, oh, he said that to you, and then said that. He was like backstabbing people and talking shit and saying, oh, this person said this about... He was causing a lot of toxicity. We just didn't realize because no one had any reason to speak about it until it all came out. So
yeah, but it's like the two things that you can have two truths, you know.
Yep.
Like
still good memories.
They were good memories. Yeah. There were fun times. There were giggles that were had. Yep. Like I went out with Kovic in the old days when
Adam made me like cry laughing multiple times. It kind of sucks worse because of that.
Yeah, and like the chemistry. And there were of course there were good times, and it's fine, and it is all right to reminisce about them. But like, you know, the other thing is that stuff is also all true, and and that relationship is dead. So, yeah, it's a grown up thing. It's, you know, you find out sometimes some of your relatives, right? Like when you're a bit older, you find out that they might suck, or you didn't get to see it when you were younger, but that doesn't take away the Christmases. That still happens, sure, but it's what happens with going forward. And
yeah,
so that's my take on it, because I know I was mates with him. I was, I had, and then I wasn't when I knew stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as I knew, I wasn't mates.
Well, same for the audience, really. Yeah. Like aside from the people who like want to act like nothing bad could have possibly happened for some reason, I think a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, that's it.
A very Owen thing for Rahul to say. It's true. It's very Owen of you.
I always worry, you know, look, you never know someone.
Sometimes you find out your cool uncle is an asshole. Yeah.
You don't know. Look, there are people on this planet I'll die for. You know, there are people that I will, hand on my heart, be like, no way. Whatever this is, I can't. I just don't see it. They don't have it in their body. But the truth is, they probably do. Everyone, like, you never know, and all you can do is deal with the information you have, and then like learn to pull away and detach it, because like you will never know. I can never back someone 1,000,000%. You know, if you could, there'd be no divorce or cheating or marriages, because people like you. No one knows they're marrying a cheater. No one knows their friend is an abuser. Like you may, and even when people go, you see signs. Like I know people who aren't abusers at all, 100%. But in being with them 15 years and going out drinking, I've seen behavior that you could go, oh, that was a little bit intense. Why did they react like that? Oh, and they're still not abusers. The other way around. Do you know what I mean? But then if it had then happened, you'd go, oh, why didn't you see the signs? You can't tell. You never know, because we're all.
No, like people will like call you an idiot for not noticing
You
something,
don't.
but you
just don't. You just don't know. Like,
I never assume people are up to nefarious things.
I'll give you an example because I can use it because he's my brother. Malcolm Goodwin. Malcolm is one of the best humans I know. Charitable, takes in people, educates them, gives them opportunities. He doesn't tweet about it, doesn't show pictures about it. He literally trains youths, gives them the skills in filmmaking for nothing out of just giving back to community, and he doesn't fucking talk about it. I've been out with this dude for nearly 15 years. I'm the godfather to his son. I adore that man. He has done nothing wrong, and I don't think he's capable of doing anything wrong. And he could still have done something wrong. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't know, and then you sit there and you go, how could you have backed him? How could you know? Because you don't know. People are very good at hiding. But not Malcolm. For the record, he's not bad, but I'm just using an example of
Quite confident
my
about
bestest, my bestest friend. Not
Jacob is secretly just a bunch of bugs. I buy it.
God, can you
He
imagine?
likes the lettuce.
The morning I wake up and hear that, I'd lose my mind if he went Anakin.
Jacob.
I'd have to go chase him down.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be a tough one.
It would be Obi-Wan Anakin.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, that's
So
on the side,
that's
obviously.
we've not spoken about it.
Yeah, it's
Anyone is capable of anything. Exactly.
gonna get Mark Hamill at Jacob's bachelor party. You can't ask us questions about Jacob's bachelor party because I don't want him to find out. Why streaming at 4 a.m.? It's not 4 a.m.
Mark will not come to Jacob's bachelor party. He'd come to Bruce's bachelor or
Hates
Omar's.
Jacob.
He can't fucking stand.
Do I think WB will delete the channels?
Do they still make money?
I really don't know. Yeah.
So then no.
And like people are talking about Funhouse not being profitable. I don't know about recently, but when I worked there, Funhouse was still profitable. Someone said for 10 years. No, that's Rooster Teeth, not Funhouse. Funhouse has been profitable. One of the only branches that was. I don't know. I can see there being maybe legal issues. I know that they had to I think it was while I was still there, that WB had us flag a bunch of videos that may have had inappropriate content for takedown, I think.
Well, the thing is, they're not shut down now.
No, they got 60 days.
So all that shit's gonna get archived.
People have already archived.
Yeah, people are archiving that already. So
She's Jacob's lucky partner to be. Is not. But it's public. Her name is Tara. They've been together for ages. She's a
badass.
musician,
Badass.
professional drummer, music teacher.
Badass.
We love Tara.
Yeah.
It's so weird to see RT just be done. The weirdest part to me is that Rooster Teeth is a big brand name, and usually capitalism won't let things die. But they are keeping the Roost, so I wonder if that will get rebranded to Rooster Teeth or something. Who knows? Time to start a new channel inside Funhouse. Again, I really want to try and make more content with Funhouse people on my IRL channel, and with the goal of maybe being able to throw them all of that money. But I don't. It's very difficult for me to commit to that. Is the problem. What's going to happen to the Slow-Mo guys? Aren't they owned by WB? No, I think that the Slow-Mo guys operate in the same way that Kind of Funny does, where it's a partnership. But I don't think that they're going to be affected at all, that I'm aware of. Are there any situations at RT that were caused simply by political disagreements? Not that I'm aware of. Welcome, who's Desiree? Yeah, Rooster Teeth is shutting down. Yeah, to be clear, I don't know the answer to all this stuff, but I don't think they own Slow-Mo Guys. Slow-Mo Guys make more money than Rooster Teeth. Like, almost definitely they would. I don't think it's all Gavin and Dan's, but whom I love as well, by the way, but I'm not actually sure.
I thought it.
Did RT own Funhouse? Yes. Funhouse is a Rooster Teeth brand. Am I going to be a guest on BYTT soon?
Bring your...
2 titties. BYTT.
Bring your 2 titties.
Bring them everywhere.
That's 4 titties, isn't it?
Bring your 2... No, 2 titties.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what BYTT
This is the real question everyone wants to know. Rahul, is Xabi Alonso the only man for Liverpool? I think so.
Brought you this thing. I don't know what that is.
No, let's do. That's what our podcast will bring. Bring your 2 titties. That's
your 2 titties.
My titties.
Oh, brought you this thing as Bruce Lawrence channel.
That's
sorry,
my titties.
Sorry, I should have known that. I would be down anytime. I love those people. The podcast we think we're going to call In It.
Are we?
Yeah. In It? Question mark is the plan.
What about pussy hole?
I'm probably not going to call it Pussy Hole Rahul.
Ussy.
We could call it Ussy, but that's not the brand. It being called In It makes sense for the content. I just, again, have to get to it. Again, have had health issues this year. I've made a lot of things difficult. It's why I also haven't uploaded on the IRL channel this year, as I'm not up to it, so.
Fuck.
In It.
Yesterday, Flanagan did a fucking In It joke and it got me.
Love it when Flanagan drops an In It.
I know, he did it. What the hell did he do? And he went, he did an impression and he went,
Pussy in bio.
Yeah, Flanagan loves saying In It.
Loves a little In It.
He does.
You bringing about that plot I love, Idiots in Abroad. I think it'll be pretty similar, but just no Jon Snow.
We should do a Terrence Malick podcast. But you're behind. Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm planning to watch
Badlands
tomorrow.
So only 1 hour and a half.
I'm going to try and watch Badlands
Shat. Has anyone in the chat seen Badlands by Terrence Malick? And did you like it? Not Badlands. Not Badlands.
No,
Days of Thunder. Not Thunder. Days of Heaven.
Days of Heaven.
Days of Heaven. Days of Heaven.
We like Badlands.
We liked
I
Badlands.
love all the work y'all have done and can't wait for the future, but what was one of your favorite memories on or off camera with the Funhouse group? Look, we spend a lot of time with them, right? So, like, we do little build nights with Jacob and Charlotte where they come over and we watch stuff and we build Gundams.
I invited Jacob this weekend, and me and him we're gonna tackle the Mega together.
Awesome.
Just the Mega one.
Awesome.
As a group.
That's great. Yeah. Charlotte said she wanted to come too. It's really hard to say. I've got a lot of really good memories with those people, but it's more like just dying laughing at something fucking stupid.
We texted John Smith. I texted him.
We texted him after
a couple of weeks after his video,
say,
just so thinking of him and.
Don't hate you. Hope you're okay.
Yeah.
But we don't really talk anymore. For reasons that I think he sort of disclosed in this video.
Days of Thunder is sick. Do you know what Days of Thunder is?
No.
Do not confuse it with Days of Heaven. Days of Heaven, Terrence Malick, shot all in the golden hour.
Yeah, that's the one I have to watch tomorrow.
Days of Thunder, Tom Cruise, Daytona Racing.
Sick.
Like a Top Gun, but for NASCAR.
That's my shit. Was Achievement Hunter or Funhouse more profitable? Funhouse. In the end, at least. I don't know about before I was there. Yeah, sorry. The reason we're talking about Terrence Malick movies is I think I said this on stream recently, but we're currently doing something called a Malick Fest. We have t-shirts where Mike Flanagan is hosting weekly screenings of Terrence Malick movies with us and a few other friends. So we go there every week to the Flanaplex, which is what we call his home theater.
We have dinner.
We have dinner and we watch different Terrence Malick movies.
And Mike does prepares notes.
Yes, he does a little a spiel at the start.
Yeah.
Stop
calling it a spiel.
He called it a spiel.
Spiel sounds negative
Spiel
to
is
me.
not negative.
When you go, oh, that's spiel.
It's not
Spiel's
negative.
A negative
he
word.
He called it a spiel last time. He was like, I have a 3-page spiel.
I don't like it.
It's
to
not
me,
negative.
It's derogatory.
No, it just means you're telling someone something.
Okay, so like if I refer to your wedding vows as spiel,
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
It'd be weird, but it's not offensive.
It does sound negative. Thank you.
No, it doesn't. They said it's not negative. Literally, who said it does sound negative? Spiel is not negative. You just remove the word "not" from these comments to sell your agenda. No one.
Yeah, Days of Thunder
No
is
one.
Top Gun in cars. It'd be
Get
so
out of
funny.
here, Scuzz.
It'd be so funny if tomorrow, before Flamalic Fest, you ended up accidentally watching Days of Thunder before,
We're supposed to watch.
and you're like, good film, complete, and the racing cars.
I should do that as a bit. I should say that I have done that just to present
why?
the bit.
Yeah, go why? What's with the cars?
That's funny. It's dismissive. Nah, it's just admitting to selling someone something. We have not watched Dune 2 yet. No, next week.
No, what's next week?
Dune 2 is next week.
Oh, I thought that was a different title. Of
Also, I didn't tell you, but Sunday we're doing another Passions Fest with Lawrence.
I fucking hate.
Yeah, you don't have to come. You can play COD with Steph if you want to, but you don't have to.
Can you explain that dynamic?
Every few months, Lawrence and I get together and watch.
And his buddy.
Yeah, and a couple of friends get together and watch the TV show Passions, which is a 90s, 2000s terrible soap opera. And Rahul does the thing that he sometimes does on streams where he just comes in and talks over it. And we go, Rahul, trying to keep up with Passions, which for the record is a bad show. We know it's bad. We watched like 30 episodes in a sitting.
I hate it.
So sometimes Rahul and Steph will play COD on a different screen while we sit there and watch Passions.
So now it's now called Call of Passions.
Yeah, we call it Call of Passions. It was like
Modern Passions.
Modern Passions Warfare 2, I think is what we call it. It's bad. Yes, a soapy. Yes, I also
the puppet comes to life.
The puppet comes to life. Correct. Lawrence makes us different T-shirts depending on the eras. So I have a few Passions T-shirts, and he also makes Timmy Teenies because the little guy's name is Timmy, and he sometimes makes different drinks. So Lawrence will make us different cocktails based on whatever Timmy's made.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're going to do Passions when we could get blood clotted by Man City in the morning.
Yeah, I figured it would help me.
Oh, yeah. Well, then I probably shouldn't go.
Yeah, you'll be too mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a very weird show. It does have supernatural elements, yes. Is that Death Stranding cargo in the back? Yes, it is. That's got to be one of the rarest things I own. Only 5 of them. Straight from Kojima.
That's even rarer than the Elden Ring sword.
Yep.
5 of what?
5 of those cases.
I think
there may have been a few more that went to Kojima's friends and family, but like publicly available. 5.
What's the rarest things? That?
I have.
The Elden Ring is 1 in 60,
Elden Ring
I
sword's
think.
pretty rare.
No, maybe less.
That would be the rarest. But I have a Kylo Ren that was from Disney Infinity that they 3D printed for me on the spot. That one's going to be pretty rare.
We have a Jim one.
Oh,
Dude, I thought you Jim Lee.
Grab that PlayStation controller.
Jim Lee. You've not hung it up.
Yeah, I have the Jim Lee original art piece.
Where is it?
It's in the cupboard. Just needs to be framed.
Mental.
That PlayStation controller was a gift from. You get cool stuff when you work at PlayStation.
Which one?
The one with the logos on it.
This one?
The 2022.
This one?
Yeah. This little guy. There's a gift, holiday gift from PlayStation. 2022 on the back. That you get as an employee. This one. Pretty rare. There's probably like a few thousand of them because we have a lot of
I'm the
employees,
rarest of things you got.
Rahul, of course, very rare. Banjo, of course, very rare.
He's not rare.
He's rare.
He's from a litter.
No.
Well, didn't you find his cousins and they look the same?
No, not quite. I found his like distant cousins.
Oh, he's destroyed that.
He's fine. He's allowed. Hello, a lot of gluts.
Yeah, we're a couple.
You're also from a litter, technically. There's 2 of you.
No.
You've got a sister.
Yeah, but we're a few years apart.
It doesn't matter. It's just look at his little face. Look at his little face.
Should we do something or not? I'm all set up.
You want to do it? You are set up?
Yeah, I'm good to go, fam.
All right, homie.
Sick to my stomachs.
Sick to my stomachs, fam.
You know that's a Toronto saying. They say sick to my stomachs.
Do they actually?
Sick to my stomachs, fam. Like a cow.
Stupid.
Cow has 4
Thank you,
stomachs.
Zerza. We haven't watched the ending of True Detective because for some reason, every time I go, Rahul, do you want to watch True Detective? He goes, it's a bit heavy. No matter what time I ask, do you want to catch up on episodes?
My whole day
he goes a bit heavy.
is as dark and moody and depressing as True Detective. And then when I want escapism...
Do it, why? Because of what?
I want Kung Fu Panda 4. with Jack Black's rendition of
you
Tenacious
do
D.
nothing depressing at all. It doesn't make sense. Oh, look at his little ear. He goes a bit heavy. Don't know.
The Toronto accent
Sneaky windy.
is crazy. It's very funny to me.
You still use any Aussie slang? Not so much because people don't understand it. I do as soon as I go home.
Yesterday I blew Alex and Kate Siegel's mind because they thought I didn't know who the suffragettes was because I was doing that Rahul dumb shit, right? And they were like, really? And then I went, yeah, the suffragettes with the horse. And they were like, what are you talking about? I said,
With the horse.
I said, wasn't one of them like with an horse? Something happened with an horse. And they were like, shut up. And thought I was doing a bit. They Googled it. Famous incident, suffragette ran onto the Kentucky Derby in protest, got hit by a horse and died.
I did not know that.
Boom.
Wow.
Yeah, they were shocked.
Knowledge tinks.
Never underestimate
Knowledge tinks, yeah.
Hollywood's bad boy. I think I lost confidence with them when I pretended to think that Rosa Parks was a suffragette. And I was merging history. I think that's why, to their fairness, when I then said the horse thing, they were like, I don't know what this is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What time do we have to be there tomorrow?
7.
Wow, that one, Jesus.
Why did you call me a...
You can't say that out loud. Maybe?
I can. It's my slur. Call me a packy. You dirty bastard.
Does anyone at Rooster Teeth fake AF without saying names? Not that I'm aware of. I didn't have any problems with any personalities at Rooster Teeth. It was corporate.
He's still calling me a packy.
Thank you, Scott.
I find it funny.
I was going to say, I think because it's 1 and I have some shit to do, that we should do...
I knew it.
We'll have it tomorrow. Well, I've been shooting for 2 hours.
I don't know why. You hadn't even done the thing. I was going to cut...
I was talking about Sydney Sweeney's boobs.
I bought it, installed
Vouch
it.
for me. I was talking about Sydney Sweeney's boobs.
I bought it, installed
Can you
it.
vouch? Was I talking about Sydney Sweeney's boobs, yes or no? It's one of Rahul's favourite topics.
No, it's not.
Boobs. You love boobs.
Oh, yeah. In general.
I was.
Not specific boobs.
I was talking about titties. For a while. So you can understand. Yeah, look, it happens. Sometimes you just need to talk, and today's one of those days. Just have a bit of chat. But yeah, we could do it tomorrow if we do it right after I finish work before we go.
Well.
Raul says no.
What time do you finish?
6. Finish work at 6 every day.
Can't do too fine, man. We'll be late.
All
And we
right.
can't.
All
Because that's a big movie. Thin Red Line.
What time are we going?
We'll be there at like 7.
Okay. Well, we'll find a day. Is Rahul from Pakistan? No.
Well, sort of.
Okay, sorry.
Before the partition, the part that is now Pakistan, 2 of my grandparents, I think, were born on that side. But it's now known as Pakistan, but at the time it was just one.
Sit. You delivered that like you were so uninterested in the words you yourself were saying.
It's really boring.
Petition stuck bad, did it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit. I don't know shit.
Before the Brits left, when India was given its independence, they gave Pakistan, they did a partition, they partitioned Pakistan and
that's
India,
right.
the Brits, as a last little fuck you. And everyone on one side had to go to that side, on that side had to go on that side, and then there was bloodshed and civil war.
Not great.
So Rahul's not a fat Mexican, no.
Who said that?
It's a reference to the last time we was on chat. I told you, I feel like your lot getting a little bit salty. I might just have to dust.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel it.
Are you being cyberbullied?
Well, I don't care. They're all, like,
If I see it, I will always...
like I said, like the Packy thing, I find it funny because...
Well, that was a random, though.
I know, but like, I don't care about that online because, like, you're doing it here because there's no consequences. But
they're doing it for attention.
of course, but I know that I'm in control of that because I know what I'd do if you did it in person.
Yeah, so
And I don't
Rahul's
care
like
what
one of
you
the
look
only
like.
people who like, if someone were ever to comment, say that to my face, Rahul would start shit. The boy's fighty.
Yeah.
If you said it to his face, yeah, you'd have a bad time. He's a fighty boy. Whereas like a lot of people go, say it to my face and they do nothing. Not Rahul.
With a child.
I like the way it's written though. What if they are a child?
If it's a child, only kicks.
A child.
It's only kicks. I just do a little. I just do a little kick, a little front kick.
Just slap the hands away. Are we in Australia? No, we are in Los Angeles. The boy is fighty.
But that doesn't mean I want people now, streamers and shit on Kick, to come challenge me if they see me some roided up. You're like a failed MMA fighter. I'm just talking about random normal people. I don't have skills.
You're not after like juice
No.
heads. You have been boxing though.
No.
Oh, okay. No, he says.
I don't mind getting beaten up. So it's just I will happily get into it.
Turns out I too do not mind being punched in the face. Who'd have thought? Fine with it.
I don't want a celebrity box.
Didn't bother me.
I don't want to.
That's a good name, Man Bear Pang. I'm sure I've said that before.
Man Bear
Pang.
Oh, nice. Rahul, are you in Flanagan's next show? No. Mike did a movie. That's the most recent thing. Mike did Life of Chuck, which
Do we know when that's coming out?
no. Yeah, and right now Mike's very much in
Good night, Mr. Sunshine.
development. He's now at Amazon, so there's been a change. So he's working on his stuff, but we're boys. I'm sure he'll give me a call when he needs me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other brown dudes now
All right.
want a piece of my Mike.
Mm.
You can't have him. It's mine.
If I had a chance, would I act in a movie or a show? I already act, and yes, I do have a movie coming up soon.
Oh my god, you do?
Yeah.
Wait, you have two.
No.
You can't talk about them, but two. Oh my god, you're right.
Because of one, I can't do the other
you can't do the other. She has her scheduling conflict.
I have a conflict where I can't do two films. Because of one, I can't do the other. But yes, I am. I do have a movie soon. So
You are
stay
sort of
tuned.
still in spirit in one of them.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if the timing works out, I could do both.
Go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty. Well, I've already.
You just can't do it now.
I already recorded it. It just can't be included. It has been filmed.
We should stop talking.
We should stop talking. We should stop talking. But yeah, I am acting.
She's
I'm going along
in
with
Death and Other Detail. She plays
Tell us
Sunil's.
what accent you'll be doing. American.
She plays Sunil's tits. She's under his shirt doing that, so they jiggle as he runs around Malta. Someone said you look good in Death and Other Details, and I said Mans looks like Cesc Fabregas.
I don't know who that is. Oh, we wouldn't be breaking NDAs, to be clear. I'm not breaking any NDA. I'm just trying to be respectful. But I trust me, I ain't never gotten close to breaking no NDA.
No,
Not a thing I've ever gotten close to. What?
Haven't you ever broken an NDA?
Never.
Never?
Never. I leaked the Nintendo Direct was coming.
That's what I was
but
thinking.
I didn't sign an NDA.
Yeah,
I didn't break an NDA on that.
I haven't broken an NDA. I got a little bit. I got my wrist slapped by
Okay, you did that.
by Trevor
wrist
Macy
slapped.
once. I got my wrist slapped because I said The Fall of the House of Usher is Mike Flanagan's graphic novel. And Trevor hit me up and was like, no descriptions. I want it to be a
cancelled
complete
marketing.
surprise. And Trevor really didn't want to have no descriptions.
I'll give you
But
$1
I don't
trillion
get- I don't
dollars
get
to break an
told off,
NDA. No, I'm not breaking no NDAs. Never. Never. No reason to be shitty to people.
Liverpool player of the season so far. That's
Will
a great
any
question.
NDA stuff be void when RT dissolves? No.
I would have said Trent. I think Trent's been incredible this season, but it's been a bit of an injury season for him now. But for me, I think it might be Virgil. I think Virgil's one of the few people that's keeping our title hopes alive right now. He's one of the senior players that's showing up.
Yeah, Butthugger, I intentionally didn't go live on YouTube because I wanted it to just be the reaction and not the just chatting part. That's why it says Xbox reaction stream. So, yeah. It's intentional. But this went way longer than I planned, so I'm going to have to upload this anyway. I thought this would be like 15 minutes.
Oh,
Here we are.
yes. Arsenal, shout out to Arsenal. You're coming for the league. I love the form you're in right now. You've scored like 500 goals in 3 games. And I think I love that because I do like
the
Arsenal.
only club to beat City. Or one of them. They beat them twice this season. No, not this season. Once, and then in one was another cup. But in the last 12 months, Arsenal beaten City
They're the
twice.
only one to beat them twice. But what I love about what's happening with Arsenal right now is the form you're in and the goals that you're banging away and you're putting away. It's going to make you lot not winning the league sting even more.
We just did that thing where we're having 2 separate conversations, by the way.
Why? You were talking about Arsenal.
I got on board. They are doing well. Really well. Hell of a streak. I don't like thinking about Sunday though. I don't think it's gonna be a good day for us. I think it's gonna be a bad day.
Don't put Banjo in a Liverpool kit because he's jinxed.
We lose every time.
Whenever we put him in a Liverpool themed clothes, we lose.
Would a draw put Arsenal above us?
A draw suits Arsenal beautifully.
Yeah, because they bring both of us down.
They get to catch us on both. They're only 2 points behind us, so a win. A draw suits them nice. A win.
Salvo's black, is he? I know.
Apparently, Mo trained.
Yeah. It's Anfield, you'd be fine. Sure, it's City, bro.
Like Anfield is, and we've still lost at Anfield, man.
Yeah.
Did you tell them about the Ducks game?
They asked about it.
Seats were insane.
Seats were very good.
Did you just smell Zanku?
It might have a little, yeah. Yeah. Does happen to Zanku farts. Sorry, burps. What time is it where we are? It's 1:30 a.m.
Yeah. You're done, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do the reaction to the Xbox partner preview right now.
So.
Which you can join me on if you would like. It is...
No, I'm alright.
29 minutes.
Rather not.
Cool.
Alright. See you later, chat.
Pokemon? Is it on the Pokemon channel? We'll see how long it was. Bye. Videos. Pokemon Presents. Where is it? Oh, 12 minutes. Bro, I can do that. Why does it say UK? That's strange. Okay. Let's do it. It's video game time, boys. Time to watch a video game. Oh, it's a banjo. It's time for banjo. Hello, Munchkin. Hello, Munchkin. Sweet little boy. Oh, he's such a sweet little boy, that boy. Little banjo.